Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romana here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market, and here I am with a late night video because I love this also to be here every time to keep you updated, to give you all the latest and to talk about transfers. Well, we have updates to share in this night. First of all, I want to start from Barcelona because in the last video I released here on my channel, after this crazy day, because we opened the day with an exclusive bomb, Marguerite to Manchester City. The deal is now done. We wait for the medical, for the contract signing, but Marguerite is going to be the new Manchester City defender from Crystal Palace. Then we had Oliver Glasner, a bomb that you, friends of my channel here on YouTube, already received on Christmas Day. We never stop here on my YouTube channel, and on Christmas Day I came here and told you Glasner is going to leave Crystal Palace at the end of the season, and today is official. Then we had Marc-André ter Stegen direction Girona. This deal, from my understanding, could be done in 1-2 days in the final details, and then next week entering into the crucial stages to close everything. But the green light from the player is there. But the bomb of the afternoon yesterday was about to draw this 18-year-old midfielder from Barcelona, a player trusted by Hansi Flick, by Deco, by people at the club, who turned 18 a few days ago and decides to leave Barcelona. I told you in the video the decision has been made by the player, by his family, by his agent Ivan de la Peña. They are all together in this decision. So what's going to happen? Draw will leave Barcelona. It's going to happen now in January. And obviously he's going to pay. In Spain it works like this. The player is triggering formally the release clause. Obviously the club is putting the money. And in this case, the clause is valid for 6 million euros. A really cheap fee for a huge talent like Draw. Of course, potential talent. We have to see how his career will develop. But, of course, a cheap fee for a really interesting talent. And what I can tell you today, in the video I told you, many rumors about English clubs, German clubs, but be careful, because in my opinion, that could be some surprise. Well, now I can tell you that Paris Saint-Germain are trying to sign Draw. Paris Saint-Germain are in the frame to sign Draw from Barcelona. Paris Saint-Germain are working on this deal. There have been conversations between Paris Saint-Germain and Draw camp. The manager of Paris Saint-Germain, Luis Enrique, is represented by the same agent of Draw, Ivan de la Peña. Probably some of you who are not so young remember Ivan de la Peña as a player. He was a midfielder, and now he's an agent, a really good agent with many young talents, including Draw. Well, now he represents Luis Enrique as a manager, and he also represents Draw. And now Paris Saint-Germain have genuine interest in this one. So keep an eye on this, because PSG are really working on this deal for Draw behind the scenes, are really interested. There are obviously other clubs. You can imagine for the player there are different opportunities. Maybe you can go to more kind of normal club, have the guarantee to play every single game, but financially and in terms of titles is different, or go to a top club like Paris Saint-Germain, where you have to compete for your spot, but they trust young players at Paris Saint-Germain as well. And so it's on Draw to decide. But PSG are there. PSG are serious, the negotiation is underway, and it's a serious one, it's a concrete one. The understanding, as reported by Mundo Deportivo, is that the player already mentioned in the dressing room to his teammates that he could go to Paris Saint-Germain. So this is a serious option. Keep an eye on Draw Paris Saint-Germain, because this could be another fast deal in this January window, and could be a here we go in the next days. So be careful, because if all goes to plan, PSG could sign Draw. Then, in terms of talents, guys, I wanted to mention something on Chelsea. I told you already in a video on my channel a few days ago, Chelsea will sign a centre-back in this January transfer window, and that remains the case. Chelsea will go and sign a centre-back. Chelsea will bring in a player in this January window, at least one, because there could be more in case of good opportunities, but one is already guaranteed, and it's going to be a centre-back, something that Chelsea want to do after also the conversations they had with Liam Rosenior, the new coach. Of course, it's not the coach deciding at Chelsea. Chelsea model and Chelsea project is different. It's the club deciding, so the management team, Chelsea hierarchy deciding all together. But obviously, also the manager has an opinion, and the centre-back is going to be a priority now. Chelsea have a 3-man shortlist for the centre-back position. I can tell you that Chelsea had, in the last 24 hours, direct contacts with Rennes for Jérémy Jacquet, the French defender from Rennes, who's been in the list of Arsenal for a long time. Arsenal were interested in the boy last summer before signing Pierre Nketiah and before signing Christian Mosquera. Chelsea had the player on their shortlist already in July, last year, I told you. He's always been one of the players monitored by Chelsea, and now Chelsea had new contacts with Rennes. So Jeremy Jacquet is on the list at Chelsea for sure for the January window. There have been conversations, direct talks in the last 24 hours, and so Jeremy Jacquet is for sure on the list to be new Chelsea defender in this January window. Let's see what's going to happen also with the other two options Chelsea have in the list, and then I will tell you more. Let's see if Chelsea will be able to close a deal for Jacquet or if they go for one of the other two options, but I'm going to tell you more in the next days. For sure, Jacquet is a concrete target for Chelsea, and Chelsea are working on it. Chelsea had direct contact with Rennes. I will tell you more on this, but Chelsea had really concrete contacts. So work in progress for Jeremy Jacquet to Chelsea. Why now? Because Chelsea believed that in the summer more clubs could join. Real Madrid will go for defenders, Bayern will go for defenders, Arsenal might go for defenders, Liverpool will go for defenders. So Chelsea believed that anticipating this deal in January would be smart. And so they are on it. They want Jeremy Jacquet. Then, final story, I wanted to mention Mateta. Because let's see what Crystal Palace decide on this one. The Mateta story will be based on Palace decision. His camp had a direct contact with Juventus. Juventus want to sign Mateta now, in January. Loan with obligation to buy. But Juventus will not pay 45 million euros, 40 or 45. So if Palace reduce their asking price and accept to do a loan with obligation to buy, Mateta could go to Juventus. Because player side, the agreement is closed. Club side depends on Crystal Palace. So is Palace having the ball on their court for this Mateta story? There are also Premier League clubs interested in the player, so the Mateta story is going to be one to watch in the next 2 weeks. It's not only Juventus, but Juventus are pushing. Juventus want a new number 9. Dusan Vlahovic is not expected to sign a new deal at Juventus in the summer, and so now Mateta is a target for Juve. So let's see if Juve and Palace can find a way. If Palace decide to let the player go in January, which is something that we have to check because at the moment it's not guaranteed. So it's on Palace now to decide. The player is ready with Juventus. The player camp had positive conversations with Juventus in terms of salary structure and contract. So the deal is on. Vlahovic is leaving Juventus on a free in the summer transfer window. That's the indication as of today. Then in football, never say never. But my expectation is to see Juventus and Dusan Vlahovic to part ways in June. And so that's going to be an interesting story to follow. Imagine Vlahovic as a free agent. But Juve want Mateta with the player. The agreement is closed. The player is keen on a move to Italy. But there are also Premier League clubs. And this deal depends on Crystal Palace. Guys, on this and much more, remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, comment. I'm always reading all your comments, and I will see you here on my channel on YouTube tomorrow, as every single day, or better say, later today. Ciao.